Hello, welcome. Breadfruit, called Ukwa in Igbo language, is one of the most valued food in the Igbo culture, especially Anambra state. If this is cooked in a party, it is usually reserved for the high table. You know what I mean? A lot of work goes into the production of this breadfruit, so it is equally expensive. I want to show you how we cook this delicacy in Anambra state. I want to thank you for joining me today. Thank you to my returning subscribers, and if you are joining me for the first time and you find this video helpful, please do consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for your support. These are the ingredients I will use: small quantity of washed bitter leaf, stockfish, dry meat or anokpo. This is optional. Dry fish, crayfish and dry pepper. You will notice that everything here is mostly dry. I will also use 1 teaspoon of ogiri or locust bean and some red oil. 5 tablespoons of red oil is okay for my 6 cups of ukwa. It doesn't need much red oil. And finally, the potash. This is called ntongo. It is made from palm fruit bunch. The palm fruits are removed. Then the bunch, that is the stick that holds the fruits, are dried, then burnt. The ashes is the potash, the ntongo. All you need is the water from the ntongo. So I will add some water and sieve it out. I will do this twice. Then I will leave it to settle before making use of the water. This is to ensure that the ashes do not enter my pot. If you have a chiffon cloth, use it to sieve it. Even after using the chiffon cloth, you still need to leave the water to settle. That is why I am preparing the potash first before washing my ukwa to give it time to settle. I will leave that to settle while I wash my ukwa. The ukwa needs to be washed carefully and thoroughly. If you see how it is processed, then you understand why. If not properly cleaned, you may end up chewing sand and stones when eating the ukwa. Let me also mention that the ntongo is to soften the ukwa, especially if you are cooking dry ukwa. So it doesn't just cook and get soft, but it also helps it to come together. You see this when you are cooking dry ukwa. So you can also use some other edible potash, even baking soda, if you don't have access to the ntongo. Also, if you are cooking dry ukwa, it is advisable to soak it in cold water overnight or for at least 8 hours to soften it and helps it to cook faster. Another thing is a question you might have. How will you know the quantity of water from the ntongo to use in order not to spoil your ukwa? Because your ukwa will come out darker in color if you use too much potash. I will show you how I know later in the video. I'll be using my pressure pot to cook this ukwa. I will add a glass of the water from the ntongo. You can see that the water is clearer now after settling. Then I will add clean water to cover well above the ukwa. Be careful not to exceed the pressure pot's maximum water level if you are using pressure pot. I will add my dry meat because it is quite difficult to cook. You can also add your stockfish if it is the stubborn ones. Cover the pot and put on the heat to cook. In another smaller pot, I will cook the bitter leaf for about 5 minutes and then wash it to remove the residual bitterness. You do not want your ukwa to be bitter. When that is done, I will add fresh water, my stockfish. This stockfish is not so tough to cook. A cube seasoning, my dry hot pepper and some salt. I'll cover the pot and put on the heat to cook. When it starts boiling, I will add the ogiri igbo. Crayfish or prawn powder, my red oil, the washed dry fish. Mix it together, cover the pot and allow it to cook. It's been cooking for about 10 minutes and everything is done properly now. So I'll set it aside and check on my ukwa. The ukwa is a very tasty fruit. It can be eaten like this without adding any ingredient to it. It has a very nice taste on its own. That is why it can also be fried like peanuts. The ukwa is soft and tender now. Even my dry beef is also tender now. Add the cooked ingredient. You can also add some water. The ukwa gets quite thick. The colder it gets, the thicker it becomes. I also added 1 more cube of seasoning, some more hot pepper, salt to taste, 2 more tablespoonfuls of red oil to make it 5 tablespoonfuls of red oil. Like I said before, it doesn't need too much red oil. Mix everything together, cover the pot and cook it for another 5 minutes. Then your ukwa is done. Ukwa doesn't really need too much ingredients, but this method is party standard. Cook it like this in any gathering and your guests will be asking you for the recipe. Now about your question, I know when the ntongo water is too much. If after adding the ntongo water and my fresh water, if the color of the total water in my pot is deep yellow, then it is too much. I will just simply drain out some of the water and add some more fresh water. I hope you do understand. Thank you so much for sticking with me till the end of this video, and thank you for subscribing. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Help a sister. Thank you and see you very soon. Bye.